Boom. What's happening, everybody? Super excited to be with you. What's happening, my man, Mike? Everybody, do me a big favor. Turn your cameras on. Turn your cameras on. Hey, Cindy in the house. Kevin, what's going on? Rodney, nice to see you. Brian, nice to see you. Hey, Christy. Yeah, so if everybody could turn on their video this way, I see you, you see me. We'll have a great time together. Do me a favor, go. Oh, you're sick? Yeah, if you're sick and snotting and stuff, like keep your camera off. Nobody, we want to stay healthy. Hope you feel better. Hey, Sean, nice to see you. Adam, what's going on? So today we're talking about Superhuman 2023. If you have the link, maybe go out there and tag one of your friends real quick and be like, hey, you better get on here. You know, I find something super fascinating, maybe even a little bit of interesting. And while I'm talking to you, put in, do me a favor, put in there in the chat bar there, if you could just pop in the chat bar, like where are you at? Where are you logging in from? And what time is it where you're at? This will tell me where people are all over the world. Those of you that just joined, do me a favor, just turn on your camera if you can. We'll have people join in, I'm sure, over the next roughly 60 to 90 minutes based on what it takes to get done. We got Bermuda, Pearl River, New York. We got California. We got Florida, New York City there, Hillsborough. Okay. All right. Awesome. Here's what I find fascinating, and I'm wondering if you find it fascinating too. And I'm going to talk with you, not at you, which means as I'm talking, I want you to be talking to me in the chat bar also. 2022, if you were to give it a name, a word, a theme for what 2022 felt like, not what it was, what did it feel like? Did it feel like amazing turbulence? And we're not impressed by whatever you put down. So it doesn't matter if you feel it's going to be great or not great. I want you to be as transparent as you can. Heavy. Travis says heavy. Yeah, I can relate to that. Turbulence, highs and lows, new pressure after new pressure, right? Just feeling like you get up, you just finally get stabilized. Boom. It's like, what the heck is this, right? Like, what's going on here? Enlightening, contraction. I mean, can we all agree that 2022 was unique? Give me a big old boom in the chat bar if you believe 2022 was unique, right? And any of you that are joining, hey, Deborah, and some of you, do me a favor and turn on your camera if you can so we could see you, you could see me. And not only, Joseph, was it unique, I noticed that in the world today, people want different without doing different. If that makes sense to you, give me a little make sense in the chat bar. Like they want different without doing different. That's why I'm excited you're here, because this means that you want to be different. I love this phrase. And if you're new in my world, can you type in new if this is like, I'm pretty new to your world? And if I've been in your world a while, can you type in, how long have you been in my world? How long have you been in my world? Years, months, some people, decade. Welcome to all of you that are new. One thing you'll know about me is I'm going to give you a little foundation on myself, but I'm going to give you real action things. I'm going to give you real tactics, real strategies. So I want you to hang on for this. And I find that this time going into a new year, into 2023, I find it the most empowering and rewarding, because when the clock strikes to January 1st, life doesn't change. Most people they've already messed up. They've already messed up their first day. They stayed out late. They had fun. They ate nachos. They drank. They danced. They get up late the next day. They're in a fog and they already lost day one. And it's like you're sabotaged. Day one, you're already off. Most of the world's already doing nothing. On day one of the brand new year, you're sitting there doing nothing. It's kind of like, how are you going to get started? Now, I'm not telling you should, get started on business or work or life. I'm just sharing a perspective from someone who has built a family, who's built and sold 2 high 8-figure businesses the last 8 years. And that's why I'm here doing this for you, with you, and also for me, because as I teach, I remind myself. Let's dig in here. And if you're willing to play full out with me, can you just give me a little full out in the chat bar? Type full out. Because this is what I feel like 2023 has to be. I believe this is the transition, right? You can't, I love this picture because it's like, whoa, I'm done, right? I'm done. Like, I'm not taking that stuff with me. Hey, Andrew, nice to see you. I'm not taking that stuff with me. And if you're pretty sure you're going to want the replay for this, just type in replay in the chat bar, because you're going to find out, if you're new in my world, I move fast. I used to tell people when I would do events, because a couple of years ago, we were doing 35 3-day events a year. Now we do a bunch of live and virtual events. I always tell people, don't ask me to slow up. I have to teach you how to move faster. But if you're going to want the replay, here's the deal. You could either hit that QR code, or you could make sure, and my team, I have a whole team here. I got my son, Michael, on here. I got partner Aaron on here. I got Catherine on here. My beautiful wife is probably on here. They put a link right in the chat bar. Do me a favor. If you're not in that group, like, click it right now and fill it out. Let's just take 1 second, because that's the only place we're going to put the replay. And I'm going to keep the replay for 72 hours. And then normally the way it rolls is we'll pull it out, and then there's going to be a fee for the replay, right? Because I'm going to give you massive knowledge tonight. But part of me serving you is to give it to you completely at no cost at all tonight, because I just want to see change and impact in all of you. So you got the link there. And let me do a little poll here, just so I know. If you have the book, Mind Power, type in Mind Power in the chat bar if you have it. If you don't have it, and you're like first time hearing it, put a question mark. Put a question mark there. All right, we got some question marks here. All right, we got a lot of mind power. We got some question marks. All right, we're going to put the link in the chat bar. Here's what we'll do for you. Like, I'll give you the book for free. Just pay the shipping for it. Okay, pay the shipping. I'll cover the cost of the book for you. And those of you that got the book, what would you like to tell them about the book in the chat bar? If you read the book, what would you tell someone who does not have the book yet? And be transparent. Be transparent with them. I would be kind of biased to the book, right? Because I wrote it. Okay. Read it 10 times. Okay. Life-changing clarity. All right. So I guess that should already be enough. I don't get anything off your shipping for it. Amazon loves you. And like, do any of you feel like you own Amazon by how many? Like, type in the Amazon in the chat bar if you, like, every day you feel like an Amazon receiving center for stuff showing up. Isn't that just crazy? Yeah, Christy, we'll keep posting the link in there for the Facebook group in this. Get the book, and please read it. And then when you read it, share it with someone else. It's really changing a lot of lives. And here's what my greatest awakening was. And as I'm delivering to you information here, and I'm doing this from our little room downstairs here, as I'm delivering information, as something, Christy, resonates with you, or something, Andrew, hits you like a reminder, or I needed to hear that, I want you to tell me in the chat bar, everybody, okay? Now, here's what I've learned, and I'd love to tell you, oh, wow, I've known this for like decades. No, it's not true. I figured this out through the journey, and what I figured out is, in order to have a bigger business, and if you're a business owner, can you just type in owner in the chat bar? If you're not an owner, but you have a career, type in career in the chat bar, because this, what I'm going to say, is going to apply to all of you. And I found out, like, most of my world is is normally owners, executives, managers, people like that. In order to have a bigger business, you need to have a bigger life. And in order to 10x anything, type in 10x if you've heard this concept. 10x, 10x, 10x. Type it in the chat bar. You heard this before. Here's what most people don't tell you that I finally learned. In order to 10x anything, you have to 20x yourself. You have to 20x yourself. And that's how I've managed to build really big things, is by 20xing my life, 20xing my life. And you tell me which one of these you can relate to in the chat bar. You could either give me a boom or you could type a word. You know, busy with business, but not clear on life, right? And in life, some people are frustrated and confused. If you're a parent, type in parent in the chat bar. If you're a parent, you probably can relate to frustrated and confused, right? Or you feel pulled between business and life. Like, wait, I need to build this thing that's supposed to give me financial freedom and financial security. And as I'm building it, and be transparent, like give me a sad face or something in the chat bar. Have you ever been so focused on building something at the destruction of your life? Has this ever happened? It happened to me. And maybe it's not you. You wake up one day and you're like, oh, snap. What have I been doing? So then what do? You flip to the other side and you're all life. And then the business starts to sink and life starts to fall apart because now you can't pay for the new roof and the new air conditioner and the new car, right? So you constantly feel pulled between these things, right? Or maybe you're not aligned with your spouse and partner. Someone said to me the other day, they said to me, Mike, what makes what you do today so different than anything you ever did or different than anything else anybody else is doing? And I said, it's really simple. We created a place where a husband and wife, a wife and husband, partners can come and learn to grow together. And if you think that's pretty unique, can you type in unique in the chat bar? It is. Because every group I've ever belonged to, it was always like the owner, the business owner, that was it. So one part is expanding and growing. The other part of the relationship is not. If you want to write something down, and I'm a true believer in this, if you're not growing together, you're growing apart. You're growing apart. I'm doing this for 3 decades, and every now and then I get someone like, oh yeah, I want to improve myself, but my husband, he's not into that personal improvement stuff. Or my wife, she's not into that. I always say the same thing. Someday they're going to be into it, or someday you won't be into each other. And if you think that's a possibility, give me a boom in the chat bar, because, you know, I could relate through my own experiences. Or you're confused about the future. If you're not confused about the future, you might be in a state of delusion, because there is a state of confusion. Now, we want to turn it into direction, and we want to turn it into internal power, right? Write this down, everybody. Your external world is a reflection of your internal self. Your external world is a reflection of your internal self. Or maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're growing your business, but not your life. I know this because for about 6 years, I was working with business owners, and I worked with thousands of them. And I created, I believe, more decamillionaires. And if you don't know what a decamillionaire is, it's somebody who has 10 million or more in their bank account, right? Pretty much financial security forever. And I built more decamillionaires than anybody I know. But while I was building decamillionaires, I also didn't realize that after bumping into some of these people, like, hey, how's life? They're like, it's amazing. How's your wife? I don't know. We're divorced. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted to do. Hey, how's life? Life is great. How's your health? I got diabetes. I'm sick. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have frustration. And I'm going, oh my goodness, that's not what I wanted to do, right? So I was helping people grow wealth at the sacrifice of destroying their life. I didn't know any better. So apologize to the world, but now I do know better. Now I brought a place where you could come here. This information tonight, everybody in your relationship should hear it. Or you're wondering about your purpose in life. Normally, and only if you want to share in the chat bar, but like we won't know if it's true. I'm level 52. Okay, I'm level 52. I don't know why anybody would say 52 years old. I'm level 52. I'm faster, stronger, tougher, smarter, more tactical than I've ever been in life. I tell you what, if I go, a lot of people go, oh, my 18-year-old self, I could kick the shit out of my 18-year-old self. I'm faster, I'm smarter, every part about me. But when you hit level 40 and above, you start, and I can see a lot of people are in the same levels. My wife's level sexy 52. When you hit this level, you start to ask yourself, what's my purpose in life? And then after purpose, you say, what's my legacy? And if some of you are in that void of wondering like what your purpose and what your legacy would be, type in legacy if you're thinking that. And maybe you're not sure about 2023 and what will happen. There's no blueprint for 2023. There's only the ability, Jack, to build yourself. That we know. And some people, you might be on here because you're in survival mode. You're in that state of so much confusion and pressure and anxiety and all these things. All of these, I get it, and I'll help you for it. Because, like, here's my life for those of you that are new. This is me, very young, trying to figure out life. This is me starting a company with my business partner, Rob. This is me and my beautiful wife when we get married. This is me and my wife years later. And I will tell you, we had a life, but we had a whole lot of hecticness and confusion, right? And we grew, but guess what? We made mistakes and we learned along the way. This is one of my favorite pictures here, holding my daughter, because some people say I was ordering pizza. I'm pretty sure I was ordering parts or something. Can any of you relate to that picture? Like juggling a kid, phone on, trying to make it all happen. Type in making it all happen in the chat bar, right? Just trying to make it all happen. Put that puzzle together. And there's always like do you ever miss the corner? You can't find the corner. For us, it's normally the dog ate it. A dog, Ginger, took the corner off the table, so you lost the corner. You're just trying to find the corner, right? And like through it all, we learned a lot and we created a life. A pretty amazing family life, but also we have the same uniqueness as all people, except we have different skills to navigate it, from investing and growing ourselves. And look, this is not a business training. This is a life training. But I believe if you want to build something, you got to build yourself. So here, if you're new in my world, I'm not here to brag about it. I'm just here to share it with you. Please don't put me on a pedestal. I'm sure all of you here know a lot of information I want to know, and I know some information you want to know. But I did build a $32 million service company in under 10 years, 200 employees, 165 trucks, double-digit profit. And I sold that thing in 2017, not because I didn't love it, because I was outgrowing the machine. I was personally expanding past what I was building. That brought me to build CEO Warrior, which is an organization that helps pretty much plumbers, HVAC, electricians, anybody in a service industry that works in a residential home, help them grow their company. And I did that, and I sold that in 2020. Again, because I was expanding beyond it. And I knew that I needed other people to take it further, and I needed to help change the world, because for me to keep growing businesses at the sacrifice of killing families and relationships was not what I was put on the earth for, right? It's not what I was here for. So, and I grew that into what I consider the top training and implementation organization on the planet today for service companies. And yeah, you know what gives me to write for some of you that are new to talk to you? I don't know, some of these things that I've figured out, right? Like I'm in a relationship over 3 decades. My wife and I are together since we're 15. I'm in martial arts. Do we have any martial artists here? Type in martial arts in the chat bar. It's over 3 decades. Business building, 3 decades. Helping people through mind blocks over 3 decades. Authored 18 books. And look, I spoke on stage with some really, really cool, impressive people. And today what we're doing is we're making an impact. And if anybody on here was at this event, maybe type in what it was like for you. Or if you were at this event, speak your impact. What was it like for you? And so now we do in-person and virtual trainings to help people evolve themselves, but not even just themselves, evolve their relationship, evolve their marriage, evolve their family, right? And here, this is just like, okay, so maybe we figured something out. I don't know if you know Kevin Harrington. He's the original shark of Shark Tank. He says, like, we cracked a code, and I believe we did crack some of the codes. We have redefined the space of personal development. Personal development used to be about clapping your hands, motivation, right? Yay, yes, yes, yes. But we found out is that's temporary. We're in the world of transformation and redefining the personal growth space here to help you 20x yourself. And Jay Abraham says we're transforming individual enrichment from the inside out. If you don't know who Jay is, if you know who Jay is, type in Jay. If you don't, put a question mark there. All right, so most of you know Jay. Some of you probably had the privilege of being in the world of Jay because I used to have him in my world a lot. But I'm still always honored to be around him because, Christy, he's the highest paid consultant, highest paid business consultant on earth. So let's dig into some stuff. You know, the thing is, what will 2023 be like for you? Isn't that the big question? What will it be like for you? And I want to give you some actions, some things to apply to help you just dominate 2023. The first thing we're going to start with is to decide how you'll approach 2023. How will you approach it? And so there's different types of mindsets that can either restrict your potential, right? Can either restrict it or unleash your mind for growth. And you get to choose the approach. Now, I will share with you, working with a whole lot of people, that the world is in a lot of a fixed mindset. And you tell me in the chat bar if you agree. I think they live, a lot of people in the world, the mindset's defined by pessimism, or scarcity, or they think there's only a few options, or defensiveness, or fear, right? Or inflexibility, or flight to safety. I feel a lot of the population is scared and confused. You tell me in the chat bar, am I tracking? Like, do you think a lot of people are scared and confused? Like, they don't even know how to function after this pandemic. They don't know what to do, what not to do. They don't know if they should work, shouldn't work, you know? And I believe, just so you know, if you're an owner and you're dealing with these owner things, I'll tell you it's a reflection of yourself. But let's look at the other side of it, the other side. I don't believe you want this fixed mindset. You want mind growth. And within mind growth, I bet you want optimism and abundance. You probably want possibility and productivity. You probably want smart risk-taking and flexibility, or exploration and service. Give me a boom in the chat bar if you want to live in 2023 in a state of mind growth. Now, I know being on both sides of the fence, and still, because I own multiple companies, I own commercial real estate, I have a real estate portfolio and stock portfolio, investment portfolio, and, you know, I have a ton of vehicles. And I'll share something with you, not to be serving for me, to be serving for you. When I look at growth, let's see if I have, I'm going to write it here for you guys so I have a little bit of space. I used to draw a line here, and in the beginning, I only had this. I only had business growth, and then I had a lot of fun stuff, right? So I had family stuff, and I had business stuff. And everything in business was marketing, sales, operations, and systems. And I'm going to share with you when the game really changed for me. It's when I started to put another one here, which was personal growth or expansion. And I started to apply a budget of revenue, of money, and time. I used to apply a budget of revenue and time to my personal growth. And guess what happened? This expanded exponentially. And some of the people on this training here have been in my world for 5, 8, 10 years, know that they've watched me apply my own trainings, over $3 million. I'm not saying it to brag. I've been putting my own training dollars from my own bank account into my own personal growth because I knew that anything I do for wealth and legacy, let this sink in, everybody. Legacy and wealth can only expand at the ability of you expanding yourself. You should type in boom in the chat bar right now, everyone. You should type in boom in the chat bar. You can only scale wealth and legacy at the ability to scale yourself. So I could look at anybody and go, that's your personal growth. I bet your wealth is here. And I could nail it right within a bracket there. So I want you to live and write a note down and type in what's something you took away already from me. What is something? Because my whole goal with you here tonight is to make sure you leave with transformation and action. Period. I've been on Joseph a whole bunch of trainings. They talk about themselves. They give you a bunch of foo-foo stuff. You leave, good time, nothing changes. That's not my world. If you're new in my world and you don't like intensity and energy, I love you. You're not, you should just leave now because I'm going to move too fast for you. But if you've been looking for a jolt of life and the ability to expand from someone who's here, not because I have to, because I want to serve you, well, then you're in the right place. Okay. Let's go for number 2 here. So this is going to get a little deep. So I need you to hang on for the ride, consume what you can, and you could get access to the recording, right? There's different types of mindsets that can either restrict your potential or unleash your mind for growth. And you have to choose your approach for 2023. I can predict your success next year with a simple algorithm here. Very simple algorithm. The good news is you can also increase your success by adjusting the components of this algorithm. Now, let me break it down for you. The first thing is you have a past programming. Everything that's happened from a second ago is a past programming. From an example of, your dad saying money's hard to earn. This is what's become your software system. Now you have a current programming, right? Like in your business, I have to work long, hard hours to make my business a success. Is that true? No, it's not everyone's truth. It might be your truth. So now I have my current programming. This together gives me this predicted reality. You spend lots of time grinding in your business and miss out on time with your family. And if you could relate to that, type in relate. Now, this is not one of those things where you feel like there's no hope. Deborah, there's lots of hope. Here's the hope. 1, we have to examine this past programming and we have to be wanting to change it. I wish you could just go rainbows and butterflies, and everything would change. It just doesn't happen that way. It's never happened for me that way. It's always a process to go through. It's a mind thinking. It's a sequence of operations. And if you look at the bottom one, when we start to change our current programming, let me explain what will happen here. 2023 to 2025 will be the greatest years in your life, period. For those that are working on their programming, past and current, to create a new predicted reality. On the flip side, who lived through 2008? Tell me who experienced 2008. Okay, 2008, closest thing to the Great Depression. Okay, I lived through it. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying because it was tactical and strategic. I never had a down year, never had a flat year. The minimum amount I added to my business a year during those years was $1 million extra. Why? Personal growth expansion created what was destruction for one into direction for others. This here is, for some of you, scary because it is 100 times different than 2008 and also 100 times greater opportunity. For those that are redefining their mind, redefining their processes, redefining how they look at the world. All right, give me a boom or something in the chat bar so I know I'm tracking here. What are you taking away here? I'm giving you what you need to know, and I don't know anybody else sharing it out there. I don't know if they don't know it. I don't know if they don't want you to know it. In 2008, the people that were winning, they weren't sharing. In 2008, I was sharing as much as I could. The same thing like a couple of years ago when the pandemic came in. People that were in my world when the pandemic came in, they all won. Almost all of them won. If you were in my world during the pandemic, only if it's truthful, and I helped you win, type in win in the chat bar. I know I helped people win. Why? Because I was thinking different. I was thinking of expanding myself and expanding humans, and then easily they would be able to be protected and expand themselves. Everyone else, a lot of other people through the pandemic, they were just bleeding out. All right, let's go for number 3. Can you handle more? Type in, give me more, if you can handle more. Number 3, this here is elevate your belief. Some people will surpass their goals and targets, and because of an ultimate belief in themselves. Others will struggle because they believe the lies that the world tells them. Inflation, it's just a word. Recession, it's just a word. You carry the pain and suffering on it until you redefine the word. See, your beliefs, they need to be stronger than the world wants you not to believe in. See, if you live in a constant state of empowered, skilled confidence, as the world tries to throw these little bitty arrows at you here, it doesn't penetrate. It ricochets off of you because you have this belief system, this state of confidence. Now, if you're confident, okay, and so this is you. This is you. You're very confident, okay? But the rest of the world, your family, your employees, your community, maybe your church, like, I don't know, your neighbor, your friends, if they are all in a state of negative belief, guess what will happen? They will start to convince you your belief is wrong. And when you are convinced your belief is wrong, guess what will happen? You will join their side and everything will start to fall apart. So what's important about this? You can only expand at the rate that the world around you is willing to expand also. Who's the world around you? Let me see. Let's go. All right, I'm going to go here, up in the top left here. Here is you. And then maybe the first ring of your world is maybe your family, your kids. Close, your mom, your dad. Now, if you believe you have to get them to believe with you, then maybe some of you, the next ring might be this ring, which is like friends. Maybe it's your team, employees, maybe. Now, if you get that ring to grow with you, now you're expanding the belief system, and here's what will happen. Results. Results. That's what we figured out. That's why we're working. I don't know when it will come out. We're working on some programs so we could be the personal growth arm to your world. Because I know that some of you will expand, but you don't know how to expand the rest of the people. So you have this force against you. But if we get them all to grow together, it's the same reason my wife and I have put more people through trainings that couldn't afford it. We're like, you want to go to training, can't afford it. I'm like, we'll pay for you. This is a long time ago. We're not talking about when I have lots of money. We're talking about when we don't have lots of money. We'll pay for you. Why? Because the inner circle, write this down, the inner circle is only as strong as the outer circle. The inner circle is only as strong as the outer circle. Now we have people in our world that when we do a training, they bring 5 or 10 people on it. Why? Because the inner circle is only as strong as the outer circle. All right, tell me what your big takeaway from that was, everybody. What was your big takeaway? Type it in the chat bar. What's your big takeaway from there? Or action item or thought? I'll pause because I need your brain to don't let other change your beliefs. Yeah, right? And if they are trying to change it, you have to help them expand, refocus. Inner circle, only as strong as the outer circle. Developing the outer circle, that's right, Matt. Have to believe in yourself more than others. Yes, strengthen your circle. All right, you guys are getting it. Strategy number 4. Strategy number 4. So strategy number 4 is your thoughts, words, and deeds work together to create your reality when they are aligned. But when they're not aligned, your reality will not shift the way you want. Now, first, you have a thought. And that thought is either creating something that you want or creating something you don't want. Be transparent with me. How many of you had a thought that was probably destroying something today? You had a destruction thought. Just put destroy in the chat bar. Be transparent with me. There's no judgment here. And also, how many of you had a thought of creating something? It's like that story of, what is it? Like the devil and God on one side, and it's like, who's going to win? The one that you put most focus on, is that how it goes? Or the tale of the 2 wolves, right? It's like, which one's going to win? But see, your thoughts, when they're aligned, they turn to words. Now, if it's destruction thoughts, you'll go out there and you'll use destruction words. Can't we get it right? Why is it like this? Right? The power of words is so interesting today, right? It's the difference between, last night we did a training with our group and somebody was saying they had to fire somebody. And I said, you never have to fire anybody. You just have to relocate them. Now tell me if there's a big distinction feeling between fire and relocate. Maybe relocate in my business, maybe relocate to another opportunity, maybe relocate to another part of the world, maybe relocate to another company. Big difference, big vibrational difference. Words matter, but words are only as packed and powerful as the thoughts stacked behind them. Now, if my thoughts are aligned with where I'm going to go in 2023, my words are aligned, which I love. You still got a couple weeks. So everybody in your world, you get to have a thought, share a word, and start to create a deed. A deed is an action. I am giving you something right now, everybody, that is like a secret sauce to creating or destroying. Right here. Just examine your own thoughts, examine your words, and look at your actions. I hear people all the time, I just go, okay, so it's a words thing. Look what you just said. Look how you said it. Or it's a thought thing. What were you thinking when you said that? Or it's an action thing. Like, does that match up your thoughts and your words? If this is a huge model for you, can you type in huge in the chat bar? Is this huge? Do you have to put a little sticky note, thought, word, deed on your mirror and go, What am I saying to people? What am I thinking? What am I doing? Isn't it as easy as that? What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you doing? This one thing alone will change the dynamics of what we're here for. We're here to redefine, not define, redefine 2023, because you already have a conception, or you already have some kind of excitement or framing. I'm going to build this. I'm going to do that. No. I want to redefine it and realign it so that you go into it with not confusion, but a sense of certainty, a sense of power, a sense of direction. When you have this, you will go in that direction. All right, let's go for number 5. Energy. Okay, so energy is our internal power that keeps us moving forward in life. You are nothing but a ball of energy. How do we know? When your heart stops, what do? Tell me what's in the paddles. When they hit you with the paddles, what are they hitting you with? Vibration or what? What's in it? Electricity, right? Isn't that what's in there? They shock you, right? They shock you because you're this energy. Now, if you're weak energy, right? Weak energy will allow the chaos of life to overwhelm you. And did you ever know? Tell me what your energy is like in a state of overwhelmment. Type it in. Is it high or low? When you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated. Energy high or very low, right? Strong energy will empower you to rise above and master 2023. Now, when we look at this energy, you want to look at it first from the state of the mind. The mind is inspiration. It's a sense of my direction of my mind. I am inspired to get ready to move forward. The body follows the mind. The body follows the mind. If you tell your mind you are worthless, you are unhappy, you are disappointed, you don't like it, the mind will tell the body kill itself. It'll start to destroy it. How many of you ever had stress and you know for a fact that stress, your back, you have a backache or a pain ache or shoulders or neck? Tell me what happens when you're under massive stress to your body. What triggers? What comes in? Gout? Like what gets unleashed inside of you? Headache? Migraines? Feel like shit? It's a good way to say it. What else? Sickness? Exhausted? Tight muscles? Headaches? Sleep? Right? Total, because the body follows the mind. But if the mind has inspiration, guess what? Well, then that inspiration will create momentum in the body, right? You start moving forward. You start moving forward with more energy. Now, with that, guess what? If the mind's aligned with the body, the mind has inspiration, the body has momentum, you will have what we call spirit. Spirit, the ability of being this being of relentlessness. Now, as much, everybody, as it can go this way, when you have greater spirit, do you have a more empowered mind or a less empowered mind? Type it in the chat bar. More when your spirit is up. More when your mind is up. Stronger body or weaker body? Now, let's watch the devastating effects, Hank, of the reverse. When I start to lose my spirit, I start to get disappointed. I start to get upset. I start to quit. What happens to my body? Slows down, starts to break apart, fatigue, body aches, energy aches. At that point, my mind starts to hit anxiety, upset, frustration. I start to go in a state of very low. It then pulls my spirit down further, my body fatiguing, my mind, we can't win until we change the mind, power the body, the spirit follows, and you become this power wheel. All right, everybody, tell me in the chat bar, what are you taking away from strategy 5 here? You see where we're going, right? Thought, word, deed, mind, body, spirit. Yeah, these are words you heard before, but you may not have known the creation cycle and the destruction cycle. Everything in your existence is either creating or destroying by your will, by your choice, right? Now, I know it's hard, but suffering is a choice. All of my suffering has happened inside my mind. What about yours? Where has your suffering happened? Even if I stab a knife through my arm, my suffering's not in my arm, it's inside my mind. It's inside my mind. All the suffering happens there, which means if I own my mind, then guess what? I can control my suffering, my frustrations, my anxieties, my pressures by just empowering my mind to empower my body, to empower my spirit. This is what I would strongly consider for 2023. Now, you don't wait to start this January 1st. You're here because you wanted to start today. You just didn't know that. You're here because you wanted to start with a plan today. There's a lot of people had a lot of stuff they're doing besides planning for the next year. There's also a lot of people that will reach out to me in January and February in a state of panic and confusion. And I'll normally remind them, where were you at on December 14th at 7 p.m.? What were you doing? Oh, I was eating Doritos, watching Netflix. Well, that's not going to, and I'm not against eating, well, I don't eat Doritos, but I'm not against if you do, and I do watch Netflix. I only watch what is going to empower my mind, my body, and my spirit. You know what someone said to me? This is interesting, Christy. They said, I don't watch the news. I said, okay, sometimes I watch the news. What's the problem? Oh, well, it's bad and it's poison. I said, no, it's poisonous for you because you're not in control of your mind. I am. I could watch the news and it doesn't control me. I could watch TV, it doesn't, because I understand the rhythm of information. Give me a boom if that's a boom for some of you. Things only create things in you if you allow them to create things in you. People have all these perceived notions of things. Someone just told me, like, I don't know, months ago, they would say, what's your morning like? I said, well, I wake up, I go on Facebook, I scroll, I look at what the world's doing. And someone said, you know, you shouldn't do that. It's proven if you go on social media in the morning, you'll be less successful. And then I said, well, how's business going for you? They said, horrible. I said, well, you should go on Facebook in the morning, right? You should go on Facebook in the morning because I'm not doing horrible and I'm going on it. See, it's this whole construct of what they think is real versus what could be real, right? What could be real. All right, let's go for number 6. If you're ready for 6, type in 6 in the chat bar. If you're ready for 6. And give me, if you're getting value, can you type in value in the chat bar? This is the only reason I'm here with you, is I want to deliver value to everybody, okay? All right, so master your identity. Master your identity. Now, our identity is the sum of our values, our beliefs, and our experiences. And our identities can shift. When I was trying to build a company and build wealth, somebody said something to me that was pretty profound. They said, you know, Mike, you can't build a $5 million wealth, a $5 million company with a $500,000 belief system or a $500,000 mindset. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then they said, you can't grow 10 million with a $1 million thinking. So how do you build wealth? How do you build a life? How do you build a relationship? You change your identity permanently. Permanently. I'm going to give you this quick, easy, down and dirty action steps. Number 1, evaluate where you're at today. Where are you at? Number 2, you have to be willing to shift and change and go past guilt and shame and trauma. How many, and you could just use the word, how many of you deal with some shame or guilt? Type in shame or guilt in the chat bar. And that has become part of your identity. When I'm trained in martial arts, right, for 37 years. And Deborah, I would have somebody come in the dojo and I would say, adjust your knuckles. Oh, sorry. They would say, sorry. And then I would say, well, bend your elbow, breathe out. And they wouldn't breathe out. Oh, sorry. I said, when did you become conditioned that every single thing is sorry? I bet there's someone on here and you don't have to tell me. Hey, you got to go out that door. Oh, sorry. You have become in a state of apologizing for doing nothing wrong at all. Your identity has been a sense of, I'm wrong. This is created into your identity until I rip it out, until I pull it out. Everything you want, write this down. Everything you want, Nina, is on the other side of a new identity. Everything you want's on the other side of a new identity. Now, you have to be willing to do this. You have to build a new identity. After you build it, you have to be willing to live in that new identity every day. Going from saying sorry to not sorry, right? Always apologizing to not apologize, right? Going from saying I bet some of you don't even remember looking at yourself in the mirror. You've been trained to look away from yourself in the mirror because all you see is imperfection. Oh my God. Maybe you even did your hair and you can't even remember seeing yourself because you did your hair and got out of there because you're like, oh, I got a gray hair, a wrinkle, a pimple, a saggy flesh here, or whatever. So you've been trained to look away. I don't want to look until your identity goes, look at you. Look at you. Here I am. All of me, the way I'm supposed to be, not the way you think the world's trying to define you. I get it. We live in a world where everybody's airbrushed and there's only Barbie and Ken dolls everywhere. If I knew what I knew today, I wouldn't have gave my daughter a Barbie doll. You know, the perfect waist and the big breast and the skinny, like, what paradigm world is this fucking from? No world. Fake world, delusional world, which creates a whole mind of anything that doesn't equal that is less and inferior. Now, you'll be thinking about me next time you look in the mirror tonight before bed, because I want you to stare at yourself and say to yourself, that's power. I talk to myself in the mirror. You're powerful. That is exactly the look at you. It doesn't mean I don't want to improve. It doesn't mean I'm not trying to redefine a little man boob here, Kevin. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that. I was doing some push-ups before trying to redefine the chest a little bit. It doesn't mean I don't want to do things. It just means I don't look at it as a problem. Number 5, you got to be consistent in your new identity. Does your family, your friends, your community, do they want you to be so much better? Tell me in the chat bar. Do they? Do they want you to be so much more successful? You know, the curse of a successful person is that people make them feel because they're successful, they're less. Right? I know some of you are successful. How many of you're around other people, they go, look at you. Weren't you lucky? Right? Weren't you lucky? Lucky? I was twisting a wrench at 10 o'clock last night. What were you doing? Eating Doritos? No, it's not lucky. It's skill, it's power, it's strength, it's endurance, right? And then number 6 here is your new identity serves you until it doesn't serve you. Then it becomes your old identity. You got to build this by design, everybody, by design, okay? By design. Now, let me share something with you if it's okay. Could I have permission to share something with you that we have coming up? I'm not here to sell anybody anything. If it makes sense for you, cool. If it doesn't, that's cool too. But could I share it real quick? And then I have a couple more strategies to do. Can you give me a boom in the chat bar if I could share it? All right, let's do it. All right. So here's what I always like to share with people is what if you could create a powerful new identity that serves you to your next level? Embrace that a minute. Like, Feel what it would feel like to have that identity and discover exactly how to step into it. Boom, here I am. Your new identity to unleash yourself, not to impress others, to impress upon you what's possible, to achieve more freedom and a greater legacy than ever before. I just love that word legacy. It's something that goes on way beyond you. Why? Because you chose to. Because you chose to. Here's what we got coming up. Some of you are already registered for it. Some of you have attended trainings of ours. March 18th and 19th. This is going to be one of the most powerful 2-day identity shifting trainings. Who's been to one of my trainings before? Type in training and tell me what it's like when we put on a training. Give me some words in there. This is going to be more personal growth in one weekend than most people will ever do in a year, if a decade. You could hold me to that. We do have really, really powerful people that are going to help you change things. I got Kevin Harrington coming in, original shark of Shark Tank. We got Mike McAllowitz, Profit First. We got Mark Evans right here. We got Mark Evans, Mike McAllowitz, Kevin Harrington. Okay. We have my son, 23, going to be unleashing about the mind with you. We got Aaron, who's been building time management, power, control, going through all kinds of stuff. We got my beautiful, amazing wife here, which you probably are going to want to hear us do some kind of panel, because you're going to want to know, like, how is it like to create a relationship, maintain a relationship through chaos and growth, expansion, wealth, financial security. And then you'll get to hear me some too. I hope that's okay. It'll be right here. Right here. It's going to be in New Jersey, everybody. It's in a room. It only fits 300 people, period. It's not one of those things like 300 and then you come and it's 500. No, there's concrete walls. There's no more than 300. When it's closed out, it's closed out, everybody. It's in a 2 million square foot facility called Bell Works. It's an amazing place. We did this training right in the building. So I know it's amazing. We already tested it out. We got a couple levels for you. I'll go through them super fast for you because I already got your brain all warmed up here. Okay. 1, diamond level. If you're that type of person that is diamond, my wife and I, even when we had nothing, we always went for the best. I want red carpet. I don't want to be on a tour bus with 50 people. This is the top level here. If you want it, you're going to get 2 tickets, one for you and one for your spouse. Okay. You'll get 2 days of training. You'll access all the speaker sessions. You'll get access to open areas to network with really cool people. You'll get a workbook. You'll get the blueprint we're going to do. You'll get an access badge, diamond. You'll get upfront seating. Don't be scared of me. You'll be fine. I'll take good care of you up there. Okay. You'll get exclusive lunches. You'll get a special line. So you're not going to wait in some long 200-person line. We'll get you in quick. You'll get snacks. You'll get an experience package. We'll do a pre-event online training, because anybody that's ever been to one of my training, I got to warm your ass up before you get there. I got to get the momentum going. You don't start crawling in the room. You're already standing, getting ready to run in the room. Okay. You'll get a diamond dinner. You'll get early access into the room. You'll get meet and greet with some speakers. You'll get One Life training, which we already started. So you could watch the replay, or if you join tonight, we could still get you in on One Life training. If anybody here is doing One Life training virtual, can you tell them what One Life training's like? This year, just so you know, you'll get Mind Power training. It's in January. It's virtual, 2 nights a week for 3 weeks. It's a $10,000 training included. Okay. One Life training, $6,500. It's included. And you'll get a post-event optimization training. Everybody, look, I've never, and there's people on here that have spent significant money in personal growth with me. I've never done anything at this level for that price before. This will go away. Why? Because you can't fill a room with diamond people, because how the hell am I going to do meet and greets with 300 people? I can't do it. The speakers, I'm paying people to come in. They can't do it. So if you're into this, I will tell you, and I'm not here to sell you on anything, this level will be sold out real soon. We already have a bunch. 80% have already taken it. It's got to close out. Some of you are like, that's too much. I don't want to take that leap. It's cool, everybody. It's fine. Do this. I'll still give you a ticket for you and your partner. Why? I want you guys to stay connected, married, okay, passionate, right? You'll get the training. You'll get access to the speaker sessions, access to the areas to network. You'll get the official workbook. You'll get the blueprint. You'll get a VIP access badge. You'll get closer, but you're not going to be in the very, very front. You'll get an exclusive lunch, dedicated line. You'll get snacks and drinks. You'll get a VIP experience package. You'll get the One Life training, not the Mind Power. You'll get, well, One Life is $6,500. Mind Power is $10,000. People pay $10,000 for this thing. And you'll get the pre-event online training, but not the post. Look, it's $864 for 2 tickets to hang out 2 days and change your life with me. All right. But there could be some of you that just doesn't make sense. It scares you, and it's okay with me. Here's the last option you get. All right. You get 2 full days, 1 ticket, just you. That's it. Get to see the speakers, open area, workbook, blueprint, badge, $432. 1 person. Okay. Boom. So if there's anybody on here that would like to take advantage of this, my team's going to put a link in the chat bar and jump in and take it and spend 2 days. March is far away. It's in New Jersey. You got plenty of time to plan. And anybody knows anything, being in my world, we're going to change the game for you, being in my world. The dates, they'll put them in the chat bar, but here you go for the dates right here, March 18th and 19th. If you want to dominate 2023, I'll tell you what we did, especially, and you guys, some of you are new in my world, so you don't know this to be true, but other people will tell you. I'm not here to convince you anything. If you want to really change your life forever, if you take the diamond package, and we might sell it out tonight with how many are here, you're going to get One Life training. Even if you can't jump on the next 3 trainings of it, you'll get the recording. It's built to create a life by design. After that, there's a reason why we put Mind Power training. Okay, 2 nights a week for 3 weeks. It's normally 7 p.m. at night. It's normally Tuesday, Thursday, right? At night. You can watch the recording if you miss it, because I want to supercharge you in January. So when you get to me in March, I guarantee you from now to March, your life, you've closed a decade worth of time in a couple months, everybody. A decade of time. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys. If you're into it, links here, they'll put it in the chat bar. Boom. I got to go to another strategy. You ready? Type in, I'm ready. Type in, I'm ready. I'm not done. I'm just warming up with you guys here. I'm just warming up. Okay. Sean's ready. Annick's ready. Aaron's always ready. Mike's ready. All right, let's do it. So we have this forced programming that we spoke about, Christy, this forced programming. This is, I'm going to tell you how to think. I'm going to tell you how to behave. I'm going to tell you. Remember when you're a kid, you shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't do that. That's called forced programming. And this creates this unconscious program choice. Why is it unconscious programmed? Because the forced programming is inside your mind, and that's the software system you're running. If you don't have the business you want, you have a broken software system. If you don't have the relationship you want, you and your partner might have a broken software system, right? I would guess that if you're a screamer, I bet your mom or dad was a screamer. If you were born in a room with nobody in the room forever, you never heard screaming, you would not be a screamer. You would not understand what it is. If you're an aggressive person, you were taught aggression. Tell me, type in relate if you could relate to this. Can you relate to this? Now, you want to have this conscious choice. The only way you could have a conscious choice is we have to force a new programming. So we have a new program. We need a new program. Now, when we have this new program, it will take us into what we call super conscious programming. This is the ability to have thoughts and energy aligned. Okay. This is like the Tesla of mind, right? Thoughts and energy aligned. When you have thoughts and energy aligned, what they call that is manifestation. Manifestation. Man, if you meditate, you probably won't get manifestation unless you have thoughts aligned with energy. And if you've never been taught that, you don't get it from a book. It just doesn't work that way. You can't get it from a book because a book is very hard to put across the intention. It's very hard to consume the energy from the book. Your goal is to redefine this and get you to super conscious. Now you tell me in the chat bar, if you change the force programming, so your program inside your mind runs at the level of your desired life you want, and your conscious choice, Mike, is aligned with the program and the thoughts and energy aligned. Everybody type in, how's your life going to be? Tell me, how's your life going to be? How's 2023 going to be? I try to be so kind and gentle here, but the reality is I don't look at personal growth as a want. I believe it's a need today. I think it could have been a want, Matt, before a pandemic. I think it could have been a want before a pandemic. It's a need right now. Why? Because the pandemic taught people to be scared. Scared of if they get it, scared if they don't get something, scared if they don't have the right preventative, scared if they're around the wrong or wrong type of people. Like scared if they get long COVID, scared if they don't get it, scared if someone died. There's so much scared of losing a job. There's so much fear in it that I believe personal growth's not an option. It's a demand. Unless you want to live in a state of shame, guilt, fear, anxiety. Now, look, I'm not saying some people, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an attorney, I'm not these things. But I am somebody that watched a whole lot of stuff happening. And I also watch a lot of people in my world redefining their life forever. Okay. Can we go for another one? Give me a boom if we could go for another one. I have another one here. If you want to keep going. Okay. Bonus strategy. I know we were telling everybody 6, but if you've been in my world for a while, you know we never deliver what we say. We always deliver above what we say. So we got bonus strategy number 8 here. Okay. Build your growth plan. So how do we master ourselves in 2023? Well, first we have to do a little self-assessment, right? Like, where are we now? Where do we want to be? We then have to be willing to gain new knowledge. The person that thinks they know everything knows nothing at all to solve their life, right? The person that thinks they know everything knows nothing at all to solve their life. So we have to gain a new sense of knowledge. After the knowledge, we want to seek growth. We want to seek growth. As we grow, boom, we'll create a new what? Type it in chat bar. We'll create a new what? Identity. Just tell me in the chat bar, who's a little bit excited about a new identity? Type in excited, like who's just a little bit excited about a new, more powerful identity? Remember, I'm not one of these people that did something 30 years ago and I'm still talking about it. I just did it, 2017, built it. I just did it again, 2020. I'm changing the world again. I'm not talking out of turn here. I want to give you, I want to gift you, I want to activate you. From there, we have to take action. Because if without action, It's just a fun story, just fun time, right? We have to track, because without tracking our life progress, our life growth, our tracking, is our relationship getting closer? Is it getting further apart? Is our health getting closer? Is it getting stronger? Is it getting less? You need support. Any of you feel like you're a unicorn on an island all alone? Type in unicorn. Do you ever feel like you're on a unicorn all alone? People say to me, Mike, what's it like to be in your world? I'm like, okay, imagine you're a unicorn on an island all alone. You jump on a boat and you travel and you start looking, and there's a land of unicorns. And you get off and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know. You mean there's a whole land of unicorns? I'm like, yes. Welcome to unicorn land. There's a whole land of unicorns here, right? We're the land of unicorns, where you no longer feel weird. You no longer feel out of place. You no longer feel judged. Thank you, Mike, for putting that unicorn in there. You're a unicorn. We then come back. Boom. We reassess again. We gain our knowledge. We grow. And this is how this goes. Boom. Who loves this model? Just type in love in the chat bar. Can I get a little love here? Do you love this? Little secret sauce for you guys, right? Little secret sauce. This is what it's about. Just do this. Now, if you look at the ascension of everything that we covered, if you think what we covered tonight was pretty powerful, can you give me a little power in the chat bar? Was it powerful? Because we built it to be powerful and transformation for you, but we also built it so you could go back and go, all right, I got to do this. Thought, word, deed. Okay, I got to focus on my identity. I have to focus on my mind, body, spirit. I have to come here and I have to assess where I'm at. We built this. I'm just starting it so you can start moving forward, so you can start building your life, building your mind, and change your channel. Change your channel for your most powerful identity, so you never have to be a victim, only a victor. You never have to be a victim. A victim is a choice. A victim is a choice. I'm going to give you one more. Is that all right? I'm giving you, well, you don't have a choice. I'm going to keep going because I still have energy here. I'm still going strong here. All right. Never stop learning. People are learning. I think they're learning the right stuff at the wrong time. Somebody posts something on Facebook, a book, and everybody reads it. And I go, why'd you read the book? Well, somebody posted it. I said, do you have that problem? No. Well, why'd you read a book about something you don't need to solve? Sounds like right book, wrong time. I mean, this was a big distinction for me decades ago. I was asking somebody years ago. I paid someone $3,500 1 hour. It's a lot of money, everybody. $3,500 an hour. And I said to him, I was like, hey, what should I be reading? And they said, well, what's the biggest thing you're struggling with? I was like, culture. It's like, okay, go buy 5 books on culture. Start reading it. If the first book solves it, give the other 4 books away. You don't need them. If you don't solve it till you read all 5, well, then read all 5. As soon as you solve it, get rid of all the books. You don't need them no more. I said, okay, what do I read next? He goes, very simple. What's the next problem? Holy mackerel, this changed my life. I'll tell you what I think everybody's next problem is, because I do believe it. I believe everybody has a mind power problem. I do. I am around the top of the top, right? In my world, we have doctors in my world, executives in my world, some top business owners in my world. And if they're struggling with mind power, I've yet to meet anybody that I'm like, boom, they're so dialed in on mind. Why? I'm still dialing in my own mind. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good and I'm dialing in my mind, right? So you got to elevate, right? You got to elevate your life and achieve faster growth by focusing on mind growth. Now, here is you yesterday. Okay, but this is you today. And I can feel where you're at today. Now, the chaos that you want to outgrow is right here. This is the chaos line, right? It's you today and fighting against the chaos line. But that's all right. because we're going here. You in 2023. Just getting to strategy number 9, embracing what we covered. Give me one word in the chat bar on how 2023, like what does 2023 have to be prepared with you now? Give me a word in the chat bar. Like 2023 is like, hey, yeah, what are you bringing me? Tell me in the chat bar what you're bringing 2023 now. The Hulk. Okay. I love it. A new life, new career, bringing me, all of you, the more powerful you. Yes. What else? Unmatched mindset. What else? New identity. Yep. Get out of the way, baby. Nice. Okay. Here's where we're going to end, everybody. I got an invitation to you. Everybody on here, go to the link, purchase a ticket. If you purchase a ticket, you can attend. That's how that works. Okay. I don't know who's purchasing tickets and who doesn't. So everybody on here, you purchase a ticket, you show up in March, you show up on the trainings. My team will take really good care of you, and we're going to change your life forever. Just ask yourself, what level do you want to play at? You want to play at Diamond, VIP, or General? I'm honored either way, and I'm honored if you don't do anything at all. I'm extremely honored you're in our world. I'm honored you're here with me. My team is honored you're here. And we're going to impact 1 million people or more in a decade or less in 100 countries or more. So you're helping us fulfill on changing the world. So thank you for being here. I'm going to unshare this a minute just so I can look at all of you. And then I'm going to wish you well to go on your way. I do want you to type in before you go. All right, now I can see all of you at one time. What's happening, DJ and Brian? I want you to just type in, what is your first action item? What's your first action item that you're going to do when you leave tonight? If it's night or day or whatever it is for you, what's your number one action item? Type it in. Kiss my husband. All right, that's awesome. Assess where I am in my identity. Yes. Finish the book. Nice job, Brian. Assessment. All right. And if you'll be joining me in March, just type in a big boom in the chat bar if you're going to come and play with me and my team and the power in March, and you're going to jump in. Yeah. Take care of it. If you take care of it tonight, those of you that jump in, if you do jump in at the middle level or the top level, I think you should take the top level unless you're really in a bad position because you'll get mind power. If you jump in at the middle level, One Life training has started. And then we have a session tomorrow night. So if you're that type of fast mover, we'll get you on tomorrow's night session. We'll get you the replay. We'll get you caught up. And then there's next week, Tuesday and Thursday. So you'll have 3 sessions you could go on for One Life. You won't be let down by that. It's going to change the game for you. If you're not, don't want to move that quick, that's okay. You could go watch the replays of One Life, but you'll get mind power in January. And then you'll see me in March. And type in the chat bar, those of you that will be coming, who's coming with you in March? Is someone coming because they're going to want to? Or are you going to bring them kicking or screaming? Are they going to be afraid of me when they hang out? Okay, you and your wife. My wife, yeah. Voluntarily. Okay, that's good. What else? My wife. Yeah, love it because you'll get to see myself, my beautiful wife on stage. I never know if me and my wife we never know when we're going to get in a little disagreement together. Can you guys handle that? Type in, can you handle it? All right. And you also see a lot of love happening there. All right. Hey, everybody. Team, dump the link one more time. I appreciate it. I love all of you. Hopefully I'll see a bunch of new faces tomorrow night on One Life 2023. Oh, it's waiting for you. Boom.